Okay, I just pushed the start streaming button. I don't know if it's working yet. I'm waiting to find out. If it is, let's get it going. I'm looking at my other computer. It says we're going. So I'm gonna make sure that I can hear myself on the stream. Looks like I could not hear myself. Let me check here. Wait a minute. Test, test, test. Okay. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Okay. Audio's not working. That's frustrating. Audio input capture. Okay. How about this? Can you hear me now? Test, 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 test. Hello, 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 hello. There's a lag, so it's kind of hard to. Nope. Oh, wait a minute. I had the video muted on YouTube. Sorry, I've been talking to myself the whole time. Alright, let's turn this down. Okay, let's get started. So, I have two devices I need to get files off of. This is my audio recorder. It has the audio from the slow scan TV passes. This is my GoPro. This is what I use to film almost all of the satellite passes I do. If I do something I know I'm going to make a video of, I pull out a better camera. Okay, so I'm going to take this and plug it into my computer, and then we can copy the files off of it. I'm going to do the same for the audio recorder, and then I'll show you how I organize my files. So, taking this out of the cradle. This is a mount for the tripod that I use to hold this. Okay, so open up. There's the USB input cable. And if I wanted to get the SD card, I could get it right there. The battery's also in there, but I'm just going to plug the cable into it. On my laptop, I have it has an SD card reader built in, and if I take the SD card out of the GoPro and plug it into the laptop, I can transfer files off of it very fast. I have a USB multi-port thing that has expansion ports, and it has all kinds of different SD cards, Sony's old memory stick. It's got everything, but it's not nearly as fast as that SD card reader I have built into my laptop, I think because it's not on the same bus. So I just use the cable because then I don't have to take out the SD card. Okay, so let's see. It's just charging right now. I gotta turn it on. Okay. There it is. So I actually did 3 passes today, so I'm gonna have a lot of video files. I'm only gonna show you guys one of them today. So what I do is I have a external hard drive, LaC. It's got 2 4-terabyte hard drives in it, and it's in RAID 0, so they're spanned across each other. That means if one of them dies, I lose the whole array. It's not mirrored, so that's a choice I made. But I have this backed up to what do I have it backed up to? Crash Plan. So that's backed up to a network drive I have, and also to the internet cloud. So I have a local backup and an internet backup. That way, if my system goes down, if I lose this drive, which is very fast, it's connected over USB 3. It also has Thunderbolt 2 if I had that. But if this dies, I can just recover the files off of this on my local network. I don't have to worry about pulling stuff down from the internet. So anyway, inside here I have all my video files. So I did a pass today. The first pass, I'm actually going to go look it up I like to know exactly when my passes were, so I can save the timestamp in the directory. So if you see over here, I've got year, month, day, and then I have the UTC time, and then I have the satellite, and then a little bit of information here to give me some info where it's located, where the pass was. So I like to know that timestamp. So I'm gonna go. I don't have it saved anywhere, so I'm gonna have to go re-predict the passes and see exactly what time that pass was. That first pass I did today. It was around 1 p.m. I believe. So here is Orbitron. We're going to set it to go backward. And we're going to set it to local time so it's easier. This was a pretty high pass. It was like, I think it was 60 some degrees. So, why do I have XWF in here? Got all these XW satellites. I haven't used those yet. Okay. Supposedly there's a pass right now. Oh well, I guess I'm missing one. Is this right? Why does it go to 11? That's really weird. This is the one I did, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I didn't go backwards or something. Let's go to Heavens Above. Oh yeah, I gotta share the link on Facebook. Okay, I'll put it on Twitter while I'm at it here. Okay. So I'm just making sure that I've got my past timings right. Just like to get this stuff right. If you don't get it right the first time, if you have to go back after months or days, it's hard to remember and figure things out the longer you wait. So I like to get it right the first time. So where am I? Mary Frances Place. Okay. No, I don't want the interactive map. Okay. All passes. I think it was this one here. 58 degrees, yeah. 13, 14. Yeah, this is off, I think. I don't know why it's not, they're not in order. Or maybe it's in UTC. Okay. Another thing I can do is look at the timestamps, and you can see, yeah, 1311, so that's right. Alright, so make a new directory. 13, that's local time, isn't it? Yeah, 13. So 4 hour, we're minus 4 UTC, so I add 4, so 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 17, 14 UTC, and this is ISS SSTV, and I put where I received it, and it's at Carolina Ale House parking lot. And then I go inside, and I have a standard common media folder. I got this off Reddit on the video editing subreddit, or one of the subreddits about video editing. So this is how I organize all my files in every particular project or pass. So let's see here. So these videos are all from around 13, 14, and then the next pass I did was around 1941, and the last one was at 21. So I'm just going to copy over these files here, and that'll take some time. Let's see. just checking over on the chat. I see you guys. Am I causing an echo? I don't think so. I haven't been doing any FT8. What's up, Paulo, CE3, VNA? No, I haven't done any FT8 ever. I've done JT65, but it's been a long time. It's probably been like several months. Okay, so those are downloading or copying. Let's get the audio files. So this is my audio recorder. It's a Zoom H1, and I need a mini USB connector for that one. That's not micro, so I think I do have that. So mini USB, I believe that's what that's called. Not as common these days. Plug that in, get those files. Let's see, waiting for it to connect. There we go. It says USB. Popped up on the screen there. Alright, so unfortunately I put a new battery in this recently, so the timestamps are all wrong, but it doesn't matter because there's only 3 passes. So this one's 156 megabytes approximately. So that's the, let's see, that's the first pass. So that goes into audio. And I usually turn on the recorder and check the levels before I actually start the pass. So that's what this 1 megabyte file is, just a real quick test. And then I stop it and restart it for the actual pass. So what else? So that's the only media. I actually do have some media from the last pass on my phone. So I'll go ahead and start creating that directory for that. Another thing I sometimes do is if I don't want to sort it out as I first initially copy it, I can just copy all the files to a temporary directory for sorting. And I think that's what I'm going to do for this next file, because I just want to get the copying started. So I've got a media temp for sorting here. I'm just going to copy over all these files. You know what? I think I'll just figure out. I guess that's the reason I want to do it is because in the beginning of the audio file, I say what pass it was and I say the time, so that'll help me figure out the pass timings. However, I could just look at the timestamps from the video file, and that's what I do. Sorry, I'm going a little fast, kind of nervous. So let's go for 11. Let's see, the next one is at 1941, so 19 is actually going to be 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So we're getting close to the end of the day on UTC time. So 1940, I think it was 1943. I'll verify in a minute. I can't tell. Okay, I got 9 people. I was trying to tell how many people are watching, but I couldn't for some reason. Weird. Alrighty, so I'm also going to copy my little directory common media folder structure over here, and that would be the second 150 megabyte file. Once again, this really small file is just I did a test recording to make sure the levels are right before I start the pass. So this is the second pass I did today of the 3, and that means it goes into this particular directory. And the next one was around 2117, So if you add 4 to that, you go 22, 23, 0, 1. So it's going to be on the 12th. So one, say 18. And I'm also going to put that common media folder directory structure in this one. I'm going to copy that third bit of pass audio here. And I like to, before I delete them, I like to open them up and play them and make sure that kind of verifies to me that it's copied. So I'll go back to the first one and I'll just load it up. So let's see if you can hear this.
2018.
Okay, so
04 11 13 10
just-
ISS SSTV Carolina Ale House.
Yep. So you just heard me say the time on this. That's how I figure out. That's how I keep track of what pass I'm doing. Sometimes these files get really mixed up. So if you just say it in the audio recording, that ensures that you can't get mixed up later on when you're trying to find stuff and get organized. If for some reason, if I'm not able to do this right after the pass, if I'm not able to copy all these files over, I can come back and I just can listen to it and say, okay, that's what time this happened. That's what satellite this was. That's where I was located. Another thing I do is I clap in the beginning. Somebody asked me on YouTube one time, they're like, what's the applause for? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he said, this was on the AO91 Christmas Eve impromptu demo video. And he said, what's the applause for? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he pointed at the timestamp, and I went and watched it. And I was like, oh, that's me. I do this to sync the audio between the audio recording and the video. So that's what you might hear in here. So anyway, this is the SSTV transmission. That's another one. You can actually see it fading out right there. And it started, you could hear it a little bit right here. So I want to finish getting all this stuff sorted. But anyway, now that I have the file open from my own hard drive up here, I feel confident that this file is saved and I can delete it from the original source. I can delete it from the audio recorder. And I'm going to delete this 011 as well. And I'm going to do the same thing for the 03 file. And this one is here.
Twenty 04 11 21 16 Carolina Ale House ISS SSTV.
So that's how that works. This was the last pass I did, and I got 2 complete images. Pretty much perfect on the second one, then I got a little bit of the last one right there. And so this is now open from my local system. I feel confident that I can delete this file. Alright, I can check the chat, so if you have any questions, I will be able to see it if you want to ask a question. I just have to look over at my other computer here. 04, make sure that one's good.
Twenty 18
and the 03 files was one of those test recordings I made to check the levels. So after I finish with all the files on the particular media device, I eject it just to kind of keep things clean. The too big, that's my LaCie hard drive array, that USB 3 / Thunderbolt 2. It's got 4 terabytes, so it's 8 terabyte total. That's where I store all my video and I do most of my editing off of. And I don't want to eject that. The GoPro is connected over a different interface, so it doesn't show up like that. While we're at it, even though I don't think I'm gonna decode all the files for the live stream, I'm gonna go ahead and start the copy of the other video files to the other directories that I made. Because first, in the beginning, I only did the first one, so I only did files for this pass. So let me go ahead and do the other files, or start them. So that would be, so these are the first ones, and I guess I can go ahead and this is the second set, 1941. You see I've got 2343, so the 43 and the 41 match up, so that's how I determine that that's the right files for the right directory. Okay, well, let me start another copy. I think so. Let's go to the last pass I did today. No, yeah, see, it won't let me do that. I should have, that's okay. Just like I did with the audio, I'm going to play some of these files before I delete them from the original source. GoPro is basically the file system GoPro uses. The files can't be more than 4 gigabytes. I think it's FAT32. So it basically rolls over the files after you get to 4 gigabytes, and they line up perfectly, frame by frame. When I started getting into this video stuff, I have a Canon Rebel T3i, and it has that same limitation, and it would just stop after it got 4 megabytes or 4 gigabytes. And I got a special firmware for that, an open source firmware for that camera that allowed it to restart the recording. But in the restart process, you would miss a few seconds, so they never lined up perfectly. So when I got this GoPro and it did it automatically, you know, I knew that it was supposed to work and not have any missed frames or seconds or anything like that. But I was so used to it not working with my old camera, when I laid them on the timeline of my video editor, I was like, woohoo, oh my god, it works. It was kind of cool. So anyway, the way that you can tell the files have rolled over is they say GP0 instead of GoPro. So the files that never went over 4 gigabytes, they just say GoPro and then the number. And see, this one is GoPro 376, and then it rolled over to GP0 376. So there's the 4 gigabytes, and then it rolled over and there's about 2 more gigabytes. So these first few files are test videos I did to set up the frame of the shot. So I'll start it. Okay, that one. Oh, let's see. I'll start it and I'll get in the frame and I'll basically make sure all my stuff fits, and then I go and watch the video, and if I'm in frame, good. If I'm not, then I adjust the camera. So I'm just kind of moving it around so I can watch it, and I'll go and review it, and if it's good, like I said, good. And this YouTube thing is kind of weird. Sorry guys, it says this video is unavailable. I guess I just have to click play again. This makes me concerned that it's not working. But I think it is. It still says live. Test Stream health, okay. Okay, I can see you guys now. Alright, so the most important files are not those framing files, they're this file. So this one's 8 minutes long. Here I am just getting the radio up. Alright, so I can delete all these 5 files from the source because I played them off the local. I feel confident that they're saved. And I check, 5 items selected, 6 gigabytes, 5 items selected, 6 gigabytes. Make sure I'm not accidentally deleting an extra file or a different file. So, yes, save to delete. Oh yeah, it's busy, so I can't delete them. Alright, so while that's going on, let's start to get these synced up in my video editing program. So I use Adobe Premiere Pro, CC, which stands for Creative Cloud. And let me get some water. Another thing I do is my common media folder has a default project file, which is important for me. The main reason for me that's important is because I set the basically where the cache files are. And in Premiere Pro, you can't set that permanently, so every new project has the same cache directory. When you edit video, you actually want to have your files on, basically the video files like on ideally you all have everything on SSD or the fastest hard drive you could have, but for video files that are so big, usually you have them, or in my case, I have them on a regular hard drives with spindles. So that's where the video goes, but you have cache and you have something else, and you want those on different drives. And I actually have different drives. Well, I guess I just have one extra cache drive. So I have my OS drive is on like a M2 PCIe or something like that, and then I have a cache drive that's no, it's the other way around. The cache drive is the fastest drive. The OS drive is also SSD, but it's not quite as fast as the cache drive. So anyway, I'm gonna rename this, and I'll just call it ISS SSTV. I don't know. This doesn't really matter for me anyway. But if I want to be helpful, I'll set the time so it's easy to keep track of what I'm working on. So that's that. I will open this, and I'll show you the cache stuff I'm talking about here. Alright, so project settings, scratch disks. So this is custom, see? So by default, that would just go alongside the project file, which is on my slow spinning disk. But I've got this other disk that's much faster. D, it's cache. And then my C drive is also an SSD, but it's not hooked up quite to an interface that's quite as fast as the one that this one's on. So anyway, I basically captured video. I don't really do any capturing. That's if you had like a tape and you captured the video, like DV back in the day. Same for, anyway, video previews, and then audio previews, auto save files. I thought there was some other stuff, but maybe that's not set there. That's set system-wide globally. Media cache, okay. So cache I do have set to D, Premiere Pro, Media Cache. So those two settings are important. But you can't set the audio preview and the video preview files to go there globally. You can't set that in the preferences. You have to set that per project. So that's why I have a project file that I always use, because it has those settings. And I just reuse it and change the name. That's what I do. Alright, and it also has the same structure that I have in my file system in the project. So you've got original footage, graphic sources, audio sources, titles, sequences. It's not exactly the same because it doesn't apply completely. Like, I'm not going to have project files inside the project. That wouldn't make any sense. So that's how that works. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to import the media, and this is how I have myself sorted, just by year. So I'm going to go to the paths that we're in, and I'm going to select all these, import them. What's up, K5LSW? Good luck with the SSTV. I'm going to decode it, guys. I'm going to decode it. PD120 uses PD120. Somebody asked what mode it uses. Alright, I want to import the audio as well. Another thing I have set in this default project file is I have a default sequence. And it's open. And I set the, I do all my stuff in 4K if I can. The GoPro shoots at 4K. And I have it set to 30 frames per second, even though my cameras usually shoot at 29.97 frames per second, which is the NTSC standard. I just do it because 30 is easier to do the math if you have an even number when you're counting frames and things like that, setting transitions every 15 frames you might have, or I don't know. I'm sure some video editing gurus could tell me that I probably shouldn't do that, but that's what I do. So now what I do is I copy the audio file onto the timeline. This is the same thing we had open in Audacity earlier, and this is how Premiere Pro shows it. You have to, I guess you don't. Anyway, so now I'm going to copy over the video. And I actually could have deleted some of these files because they're just when I was setting the frame. What's up, KC0RDD? So like I said, I could have deleted some of these files, but I'll leave them in there for now. I don't always leave them. You can tell these are the framing ones because they're only like 5 seconds, 26 seconds, 18 seconds. The ones I want are 8 minutes and then 4 minutes. So I'm going to copy this one over here. And now it's trying to write it on top of my my audio file. And that's because this here is set. If I don't want it to write there, I want it to go here instead. I just make sure that these two things are selected, but these aren't. So then the audio from the video will go there. And I want it to be down, it's there. Alright, so this is the fun part, the audio. See, there's the claps right there. You can see them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I do is I just move them in line, and I'm on the keyboard here. I'm pressing the plus, and that makes it zoom in on the timeline. And to set the audio, you want to enable show audio time units. See how the timeline up here changed. You can see there's time units here instead of just frames. See, just frames, and now if I do show audio time units, you got a lot more, so you can zoom in more. And the reason I do that is because I can line it up better. And you can see it's a little bit off. This stuff isn't critical, but it's fairly easy to get it right, so I like to get it as good as I can. It's not always like a one-for-one, the waveform, but you can kind of, I think it needs to go a little bit to the right. Yeah, see these start right about there together. Maybe a little bit further, but it doesn't matter that much because I'm only going to be playing one or the other bit of audio in general. So now if I play these, you'll hear these clap together. Here, and if I just move it off for a little bit, just for the heck of it, you can hear how it's off. See, and there's still clapping after the first one finished. So I'm going to just do Control Z and it could go right back where it was. So that's all I have to sync up. Normally I have, if I'm doing like a really serious video and I recorded multiple video sources, multiple audio sources, there's a lot more to sync up. One other thing I would have to sync up is I would usually record a screen capture of Mac Doppler, or Mac Doppler. Or if I was not near my Mac, I might use Orbitron. So I would just simulate a pass, and you can do that by just kind of moving around, using the keyboard to move the time forward. So I can go back to wherever I want. I can right click on this and go there, and it'll go to that time. So these are different passes: beginning of the pass, middle of the pass, end of the pass. And then I could back it up, and if you watch, there's a button I can press to make it start simulating. What is it? Because it's just anyway. There's it's not incrementing right now. It's Control P. So I would just sit here and I would use this program, which is what I'm using to live stream right now. But I can use this program, OBS, to record my desktop. And I will just click record, and I'll just wait for this to finish. And then that would make a video, and I would import that into this. And what I would do is find the time. So like in the beginning of this audio file, I said what time it was, and I usually say the seconds.
Okay, it's 2018 04 11 13 10 ISS.
So I said 13:10. I didn't have my watch. I don't know where I put my watch, so I couldn't see the seconds. But when I know the seconds, I can, from the recording, I can see the seconds here. So I'll just listen to what it said, what I said right here, and then I'll move the video around until it shows that time, and that's how I sync up these screen captures. I'm not going to do that now because that would take 10 minutes to sit here, but that's how I would do that. Okay, so we're getting close to decoding some ISS SSTV. Let's hear the beginning of it. Now I'm going to bring the audio of the GoPro down because it's going to interfere. So that's the little bit I got, and then it stops. I'll turn off the audio time units. Now I actually don't have my decoding software, so I'm going to have to download that, and you'll see how this all works. This is the one that I like. I've used a bunch of different ones. This is my current favorite. And where is the download link? Here it is. Alright, ISS SSTV. Let's put that in program files, not just probably x86. I'll just put it in there because I don't know if it's 64-bit. Alright, this is the one. This is the one. So I'm going to set it to PD. Or just let it go auto. I can't remember how this PD 120. So these settings are important. BPF. I keep telling people LPF, but it's BPF. Basically, BPF, it cuts out, I think, like the highs or the lows, and that's helpful if they're static because they tend to be in the highs or the lows. I don't know which one, but if that happens, basically, if you have a noisy reception, it cuts out some of that noise because it's in the high frequency or low frequency, whatever it is. And then you get a softer but a cleaner decode. Now, if you have a really good reception, there's no noise, turn off the bandpass filter. And then you get a really sharp decode. SSTV doesn't have a bandpass filter. So when I first started using SSTV, I noticed that the decodes were not as sharp. And I tried this, I turned this off, and then I found, wow, they're exactly as sharp as the SSTV. So that's something you need to know. You can actually see this thing is the spectrum analyzer. It's picking up my audio, so it's listening to the microphone. So I'm going to have to change how that works. So I'm going to set that up in the settings. Let's see, I guess this one, I think it's based on SSTV because it has the same menu. I think it uses the same decoder, but one thing I like about RX SSTV is it gets less slants. It just figures it out better. I don't know how, but it does. So this one, in SSTV, you can set the audio device inside the program, and this one, it just has you open your Windows sound devices. And this could get a little complicated because I'm live streaming and I need to use this virtual audio cable. So it might, we might lose the audio, unfortunately, but we'll just have to see what happens. Um, Actually, I might be able to set, yeah, I'm going to have to do this. So I might lose you guys for a little bit as far as being able to hear me, and you might not be able to hear anything. You might be able to just hear the SSTV. We'll have to see, but we'll find out. Hello, hello. Okay, it worked. I don't think you could hear the you couldn't hear the SSTV, could you? Let's see, I'm trying to get my audio working here. Okay. Test. All right. So there's the image. Let's see if we can zoom in on that a little bit. Can't zoom in. Okay, so I'm going to save this as a ping. I like to save the files in a lossless format. It's compressed, I guess, but it's not. It doesn't lose any fidelity. So I'm going to save it into the same place that all the other files for this pass are. And that it would be here. I'm going to put it in graphic sources. And I'm going to call it, this is image 2. I'm going to put the full pass details in here because I end up taking all these files at the end of the event and I try to find the best version of each file because sometimes I'll receive the same image twice and sometimes I'll decode it with a different program and maybe with multiple programs with different settings. So I put all that in the file information so I can compare the files and then decide which one is the best before I upload it to the web and share it with people. So that's how I'm going to name the file. Okay, so I'm going to call this one image 2 because I received a little bit of an image in the beginning of the pass. And then I'm going to have RX SSTV, and I'm going to say no BPF. And that's it. Ta-da! All right, so I'm going to tweet this one out, and it should be kind of cool to tweet while I'm live streaming. Ta-da! There you go. All right, we got people. I want to get spaceships. There's a lot of cool images. So let's decode the next one. The next one is over here. There it is. And this one, you can see it faded out a little bit. This is where it's fading out. You can see it in the waveform, or this. Oh, this isn't a waveform. Oh yeah, this is waveform. But it's got it all. So a little noise, and it'll show up in the decode, but it's all there. So I did 3 passes today, and I got 2 complete images on all of them. So I'm going to have 2, 4, 6 complete images in the first day. So there's 12 images total. Hopefully I didn't get any, well, sometimes you want to duplicate because the first one you got of that particular image wasn't a good copy. So sometimes you want a good clean reception, a duplicate. So let's set up the audio again. And I'm using this virtual audio cable, and basically what it does is I set the output of the computer to go into this virtual audio cable's input, so set default, and I set the default recording device as this virtual audio cable output. And then when I play audio from, I just realized after I said that you couldn't hear me properly. But anyway, once I switch this over, any audio that I play through my computer will go through that virtual audio cable and then go out to the virtual audio cable output, and that's what the decoder will be listening for. Right now you can see the waveform over here is actually showing my audio, my voice. Like if I whistle, it'll show it on the frequency spectrum. I can't whistle very well right now, but you saw it. So anyway, let's set this up. I just made a mistake. I forgot to put the audio file or the video file over here. See, there's no video. That second video file I didn't add to the timeline. So here is that second video file. So now we can watch myself as I'm decoding it. So we'll start this over. Okay.
Last event they had, but it was different time for the gap.
Hey. Hello. I guess I can talk. I can hear myself on the video, on the stream. Alright. I think I figured all this stuff out. I'm just hoping that my audio is not getting picked up into the RX SSTV decoder. That is a sweet image. I haven't seen that one yet. I haven't really been following them all closely on Twitter, but I've seen some that have space stations, and I love them. And I haven't seen this one yet, but that's a space station, and I love it. Oh my goodness, it's almost perfect. Look at that. That's amazing. You can hear the video, audio.
All right, I got two complete images. One, basically, well, one of them is perfect, and got a little bit of maybe one in the beginning. Good stuff. Good stuff.
How about that? All right. This audio stuff is confusing. I need like a physical mixer. It's so confusing, especially with the decoding stuff. It wouldn't be so bad if I didn't have to deal with the decoder stuff. Anyway, I want to save that one. Oh no, it put a timestamp on it. I hate those timestamps. Frickin' A. See, I hate these timestamps. So I'm gonna have to re-decode these later on. I'm not gonna do it while y'all here with me, but I am gonna eventually do it. And how do we turn off the timestamp? Here we go. Automatically save received images, yes. Auto start detect SSTV mode, yes. I want large size. We're going to set the screen size to large and restart the program. Yes, I was wondering why it was so small. Okay, now I want to go back to RX SSTV. I'm trying to turn off this timestamp right down here. I hate these things. No, I do not want to embed date, time, call, and picture. Never! Never! Alright, so for whatever reason that's there, I'll deal with that later. I will save it just because save it as a ping, and I can just click on this image to get the same file name, and I can just add image 3, and I'm gonna put over here with stupid timestamp, so I know to fix that later. Anyway, that's awesome, right? All right, let's so it's 11:11 here. Trying to decide what I want to do now. If I want to do another set or just stop. I'm trying to see how many. I got 13 y'all. Okay, let's do some more. Let's do some more. All right, so that one's there. Minimize, minimize. All right, so we're gonna have to make another Premiere project. I could just play these from Audacity into the program, but I kind of like seeing the video, and I figure y'all might like to see it too. Okay, so let's open. Let's close this project. Let's open the next project. Actually, before we do that, let me get all the GoPro files figured out because I don't want to watch this. Okay. I never got all the GoPro files figured out, so let's do that. Okay. This is the first pass I did, and I have these 5 files, 6 gigabytes, and this is the path for my local storage, and this is the GoPro's file system. So I know I can delete these ones, and I actually already deleted them, so they're not there. So I'm going to go to the second set and see what I got here. Let's play these back. These first ones are where I was setting the frame. I was saying earlier, if you guys weren't tuned in, what I do at the beginning is I record a bit of I basically record just a little bit. I stand in front of the camera, I move my hands around or I move the antenna around, and I stop the recording, come back and watch it and see if all that stuff is in the frame. If it's not in the frame, then I'll adjust the camera and I'll move back. I'll go back in front of it and do the same thing. This is how you record and set frames when you don't have somebody to do it for you. So you do it for yourself and you have to have a tripod. So anyway, I can delete these files in general. Sometimes I save them because I figured there might be something kind of funny in it that I could use as a thumbnail. That's kind of why I don't delete them. But rarely does that happen. But anyway, it's there if I want it. So anyway, these 4 files, the most important ones are not these really short, see that 97 megabytes and 200 megabytes. These are the important ones. These are the actual long video of the pass. See? And I just make sure I can play it, and I know that it was copied over right. And after that, I delete the original files. So I look, okay, 4 items, 5.93 gigabytes. 4 items, 5.93 gigabytes. I check the file names 7778, 7979, 7778, 7979. Delete. I haven't copied these over yet, so I'm going to go ahead and start that. This is the 3rd pass I did today. Nothing in there yet. So copy those over. And while that's going, we can go ahead and start working on the 2nd pass I did today. And I was, you can open the file from Premiere Pro, or you can open it from here. And I can rename it here too if I want. Let's $23, 43. All right, now we open. Same situation as before. I've got to copy over, or I've got to import my media. So make sure I have original footage selected, otherwise it'll just drop all the video files in here or somewhere else. Import, imports the files, and then what you'll see is it'll do conforming. See how it says conforming down here? I don't know exactly what that means, to be completely honest with you, but it makes it so that you can move along in the timeline, I guess. I'm not sure. Anyway, so these first 2 files are the ones where I was just framing the shots, so they don't matter. I like to pull out the audio recording of the pass first and put that on the timeline, because I like it to be in this first A1 right here, because that's the most important thing when I'm doing these satellite pass videos. And I need to import that audio first, so I'm going to click audio sources in the project and import this file. Does some conforming of the, see, it's generating peak file, so that's so that you can see the waveform, the peak, etc., whatever you want to call it. And I need to set the target so that when I copy the video over, it doesn't try to copy it over this audio file. So I turn that off, and now the audio from the video file will go here. And if I really want to do that right, I could set this too, and then actually, no, I want this here. There we go. And while I'm at it, I'm going to copy the other one over here because I forgot that earlier. And I was talking earlier about how I used to use a Canon camera, and it didn't, when it rolled over at 4 gigabytes, it basically didn't start recording immediately. So you would be a gap, and I always had to kind of resync the second file, which is really annoying. But with the GoPro, it's perfect. It's frame for frame. That's Canon cameras weren't really made to do that, and I downloaded a open source firmware to hack it to restart after it stopped at 4 gigabytes. Let me fix my audio. Okay, so now I can hear
2018-04.
So you can hear me say the information about the pass in the beginning here.
2018-04, 11, yeah, 1940.
2018-04,
Carolina
11,
Ale House ISS SSTV.
1940.
You can hear the this is the audio from the radio, but before I hook up the radio, I just use the built-in microphone, and then I sync based on some clapping I do. Watch the clapping. Actually, the clapping won't be in the video yet. It's coming.
Carolina Ale House ISS SSTV.
Right now, the audio recorder is ahead of the video, so my clapping will come after in the video, after you first hear it in the audio.
Carolina Ale House ISS SSTV.
So now I can sync this stuff up, and I'm going to move this over here. And then I said I enable audio time units because then you can zoom in more. Pretty close, pretty close. So it looks about a little bit more. It looks good enough. All right, so turn off audio time units. It's getting hot here. Got 2 computers going. All right, so here is the pass. So you can see this is SSTV right here. You can see how it comes in, it starts weak and it gets stronger, and then the signal's strong there, and there's some noise there apparently, and then it stops. Then there's a gap, then there's another transmission, and I don't know if there was a, I think I got a little bit of another one over here.
10 seconds from now, I've got 50 seconds to go in my pass, but it's already at 3 degrees.
So I just said it was 3 degrees. So I don't have this set up to record from the computer yet. So let's get it. Let's get it. So one of the things is this. When the SSTV transmissions first start, they send like a, I don't know what to call it, like a preamble or a header or something that tells the decoder that it's starting, and then it automatically starts the file or the image at that time. But when you start off in the middle of the transmission, you don't get that. So I think what I've done in the past is you just have to click RX right when you think the transmission started, and then you'll get a lined up image. Otherwise, you'll get, basically, let me show you. I'll just do it and show you what I mean. PD 120 is about 2 minutes. 120 means 120 seconds, so I guess it's exactly, or it's right around 120 seconds. So if I know it ends right here, I can look at the timestamp and I can just back up by 2 minutes. So we're at 5:31:02. So if I set this to 3, it should be right when it theoretically started. Yep. Actually, it looks like it. No, that's not right. I was wrong. That's a because you can see it's already started there. Oh, never mind. I got the preamble. So I'll just let it pick it up automatically. Let's see if I can get that going. worried about is sometimes if it doesn't get that preamble, you'll get the noise that was being received in the beginning, and it won't reset the image. I don't know if you saw that, but it was noise, and then it went black, and it restarted the image right at the beginning. I don't think I need this here anymore. Okay, so this is not spaceships.
S9, 7 degrees.
Just checking the waveform to make sure my audio from the microphone on the webcam isn't getting into the decoder. And it's not. I'll show you how complicated all this stuff is. This is the OBS, Open Broadcast Studio. This is where I used to stream, and you've got all these different sources here: audio output, audio input, video capture, display capture. So the video capture is the webcam, the display capture is the screen of the whole computer. Audio input is the webcam's microphone, audio output is the computer. Okay, I just realized something. You probably could tell, but I'm playing the video audio, so that's why this is so noisy. So we're gonna have to restart. I do apologize, but this audio was playing. You could hear cars in the background. I was like, why is it so pink? So we're gonna restart this. Sorry. See how it's got this pink stuff up here? It doesn't get that preamble, it'll just start recording right when it starts. And then it'll not line up, the video image won't be lined up properly. So watch, this will all go away here. See, it started at the very top. Okay, this should be a cleaner image. I don't know if you noticed, but there was more green here, the image was to the right, and it moved it over. This ISS SSTV has really good slant fixing ability. You guys want a shout out, say something in chat and I'll give you a shout out. I just noticed there's a message on YouTube that says the stream I'm sending of the desktop is much too high resolution. I've got the screen is at 4K, and it says I need to set it to 2560 by 1440. 4K is 3840 by 2160, so over 1,000 pixels too much on at least on the width. So this decoder is better now that I disabled the GoPro audio from playing. So after that, isn't it amazing? Like, you look at the waveform, like, you see how it's flat here and up here it's kind of, there's noise. That always, when I first see it, I'm like, oh crap, that means the decode's gonna be bad. But it's really not. There's just a few little bit of pieces of, kind of like red and green dots there. And that's it. Okay, so now I can save this. And that is the first image. We're in the second pass now. No timestamp on this one. Yeah, no timestamp down there. Okay, so 2018-04-11, and this is 2343 UTC. Image 1. Oh, I guess I did the underscores in the last version, didn't I? I try to be consistent. I don't use underscores everywhere, but when I know I'm going to upload stuff to the web, it sometimes is helpful to have that there. So I was telling people earlier, I like to note in the file name what program I decoded it with. That way, if I decode it with other software, I can compare and contrast and know what came from what. And I also make note of whether or not I had the bandpass filter on or off. Bandpass filter can make worse receptions a little cleaner by kind of makes it softer, so you don't notice the noise as much. So BPF off. All right, let's do the next image. I can probably just close that. I'll leave it open. Okay, here's the next image. What's up, Patrick? Patrick, Luke. While this is decoding, I can tweet out my different images. This one's getting some slant. Hopefully it'll fix that. There it is. Wow, that's perfect timing. Salute 6. How I compose the tube. Here, SSTV. Oh, sorry, you had the noise. Yep. Here's Here's me talking.
Okay. Almost perfect image. 2 complete images. I'll get a little bit of the next one. Maybe.
All right, let's save this image. Need to save ping. Save as ping. Reuse the same file name, just change this to image2. Did I get this one already? Yeah, let's start to let's see what we got so far. Let's one last thing. Just hopping around, but I want to make sure I've got these files. So 380, 381, 381. So this is the last pass I did today. I haven't mentioned it yet because I was kind of worried about having to show y'all, but the ISS was visible during this pass, and I recorded a little bit with my phone, and I haven't got the video off there because it's just one more thing to do. Excuse me. But I could make a cool video out of that. It wasn't really bright, but it was visible, which makes it really easy to aim. Play this one too. Look, there's where I'm watching it. You can see I got the camera.
It went in the shadow. I think it went in the shadow.
So I said I think it went into the shadow. It disappeared about 3/4 of the way through the pass, but you can see me looking up at it and holding the camera phone. Makes it really fun to track that way. Anyway, I can delete these off the camera, and since this is connected via like NTP or something like that, it's not a mass storage device. There's nothing to eject. So this is my 8 terabyte hard drive array. So I can just disconnect the GoPro. Bam. And if I want, I can go charge it up. I'm just doing this to kind of keep things going. Just kind of show you all my workflow. This is how I do things. I always charge them up right after I've finished working with them, so everything's good to go and ready to go. I don't accidentally have a dead battery. All right, so there's a little bit more of an image in this pass that I haven't decoded yet. So let's take a look at that. Let's listen to it first.
Like it was last time. It'll be coming on 10 seconds from now. I've got 50 seconds to go in my pass, but it's already at 3 degrees. Seconds to go in my pass.
You can see it's getting a little something there. It's all slanted, really bad slant, but oh wow, RX SSTV just fixed it. That was awesome. Look at that. And that's pretty much gone at that point. Look, it fixed the slant again. RX SSTV is the best. So I can't even tell what image that is. Sometimes, I'll say, like, say I only get one image. There's 12 images in the series. Say I get like all of them really good, and then one of them I don't get that well. If I can't tell what all these little ones are, I can go back. Or if I don't know what, if I don't really care about this right now, but say I got all but image 2, and but I do have these things and I haven't really looked at them closely. If I go back and look closely, sometimes I can figure it out and I can technically say I received all images. So that's that. I will save it just because, why not? Because of what I just told you, actually. So let me put that. I kind of want to wait till this is finished down here because I like it to show up properly. Like this is what I was talking about earlier, where the beginning of the transmission starts here, but if it doesn't catch that preamble or that header or whatever you want to call it, it doesn't know to restart the image at the top, and it didn't because it was so noisy. And if I'm really anal, like say if I get if I miss the first part of it, but I get the last 3/4 of it, I'll start the recording. I'll start the decoding right when it theoretically would have started, or when it did start, but I couldn't receive the image yet. So I could have done that in the opposite direction with this by just clicking RX right at the beginning. I'm not going to do that though. So I will save this. This is going to be image 3. I probably should have turned on DPF for this one, but I didn't, so it's pretty bad. But it wasn't going to make it that much better. Okay, so that's about it. I guess I could do the next set. I'll do the next set. I'm already here. Close project. Here's my claps. That one's kind of not very sharp, I think. Yeah, they're not that much different. Alright, that's synced up. There's my 3 images. That's the first one, second one, the third one.
It's gonna be a 2-minute break and not
Alright, I guess I'll hook up the, I'm gonna get that video file off my phone and sync that one up somehow. Be a pain in the butt, but I'll do it. Alright, so like I was saying earlier, the ISS was visible in this last pass, and I pulled my phone out and recorded it. So I'll put that on the timeline here so we can watch it a little bit. It'll be really hard to see on the stream, I think, but maybe you can see it. So that would be this one, 2123. I'm going to copy that. Sometimes I make directories, so GoPro will have its own directory, and then I'll have one for the phone. And if I have like my Panasonic GH5 digital SLR, well, it's not a DSLR, but it looks like one. But if I have my really nice Panasonic, I'll have a directory for it too. Nice thing about the Panasonic is that it doesn't have a 4 GB file size limitation. It uses a different file system. It doesn't use FAT32. It uses I forget what it's called, but files can be bigger than 4 gigs, so you don't have to have this issue with files rolling over. All right, let's put that one in there. Now, figuring out how to sync this up will be a little bit interesting. Uh-oh. Doesn't have... let's see, there we go. So you can see it's not as long as the whole pass because I just kind of picked it up when I started to see it. And so here's the GoPro audio. Here's the phone audio. You can see this is the actual shot. So I just have to find these same waveforms in the GoPro, and that'll be how I line it up. Let's see. Just looking around, basically. Two big ones. Hard to say. I mean, I could listen to the audio.
Okay, about 20 seconds. Oh yeah, you can see it
This
now on
makes
my camera.
tracking really
Barely,
easy
but
when you can
it.
see the satellite.
This makes tracking really easy when you can see the satellite.
Yeah, I know it's further over.
S9 signal. I'm at 145,
Oh,
805.
I just overwrote the GoPro here.
5 for Doppler to compensate for the Doppler. So on my audio recorder, it has a time.
Oh, I can just I can watch the video and find where I pick up the camera. That's what I'll do. So I'll scrub through it. Looks like I'm pulling it out right now. See? I just pulled it out. Okay, so that means this starts roughly there.
Yeah, it's not too dark actually.
Don't think you can see it on the
Don't think you can see it on the
There we
it's
go.
not bright enough for the camera here, but I can see it.
It's not bright enough for the camera here.
See? So that's how you sync stuff
Don't think you can see
it.
No, I'm off by one waveform here. I think.
Don't think you can see it on the
There we go.
don't think you can see it on the
It's a little harder because see, there's no clap. That's what the nice. You get a clap, you get a really quick wave. When you're speaking, it's not a very short waveform. It's long. See, so makes it a little bit more complicated.
don't think you can see it on the
That's pretty darn good. All right, so now we're synced up, and we'll just skim through here.
It's not bright enough for the camera here, but I can see it. This makes tracking really easy when you can see the satellite.
Drift Lizard asked about
Okay, about 20 seconds.
the audio tracker I have, and I don't use that all the time.
Oh yeah, you can see it now on my camera. Barely, but you can see
It takes a lot
it.
to set that thing up.
I think.
There it is. You can see it. I don't know if you can see it there in the stream.
Yeah, that's it.
Alright, so I'm going to do the decode now. I'm going to bring the audio down on all these other things so they don't interfere with the decoder. And we shall decode and watch the video. Actually, this is the second. Okay, so we'll have to watch that one next because I want to decode the first image first. Did I knock out all these ones? Oh, I guess I don't need to mute them if I have them brought down. Alrighty. What do you guys think? Pretty cool, right? This is so fun. Alright, now we gotta see what all images I got. So I make a directory for the whole project, so I can organize all my file for the whole event. So I can organize all my images and see what's what. So I will copy over the common media folder. So if I were to make like a video for the whole event, that's what I would have this directory for. But I'm just going to use it for now to have all my images in one place so I can see which ones I've gotten. So we'll go to the first pass. Go to the second pass. Alright, so this is finished. Alright, so those are the images gotten so far. So let's see, this is number in the series, it's number 6 of 12, and 7 of 12, 2 of 12, 3 of 12. So, and then over here I got 1 of 12. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and then 6 and 7. And who knows what will come, I guess 10 will come after that. Sweet. Cool. Alright, let's save this one over here. I'm going to use that same file format, so I'm going to copy this here. And this is actually going to be 12, and 01, 18. And this is image 1 of the pass. Image 1, image 2, image 3. So I will save that, and we will do the next decode. And this is when it was visible. And if I wanted, I could like show that video too, which I will. So I will move these above, and I will make it small. I'll reduce the size of it. And then I'll move it somewhere. I'll put it over here. You can kind of watch me and watch what I'm pointing at simultaneously. If you wanted, you could listen to me too. I can't hear myself. Oh, Premiere Pro is not playing my audio for me. Stop that. You probably can hear it though. You guys are talking about war. Yeah, what's going on with this thing? Okay. It's not playing the audio for you or me. So let's close the project. Let's just exit and reopen. So, war with Russia, eh? Well, when the Berlin Wall fell, there was a guy up in the Mir space station when Soviet Russia fell, and he was up there for a very long time, probably longer than anybody else because of that transition. All right, good. So now you can hear me talking about seeing the ISS.
Don't think you can see it on the Okay, about 20 seconds. Oh yeah, you can see it now on my camera. Barely, but you can see it. I think. Yeah, that's it.
I'm going to apply the same settings here to the other video file. What was it? 1050, 1870, 54. Ah, now you can see the radio. Okay, let's get this decode going. I set the solo button so it only plays the audio from this here. Yep. There it is, right there. I don't think you can see it on the stream. I'm sorry, guys. Even this is kind of small. Alright. So we got this one and one more image. So, war, eh? What happened? I'm going to read this actual question all the way through and try to answer it. So if we entered war with Russia, what would happen with the astronauts, cosmonauts? Drift Lizard responded to Wesley by saying, Russia would get the space station. Currently, Russia is the only one delivering astronauts to the ISS. You can see the signal there. This was a 30-some degree pass, I believe, 34 degrees. That's akin with TNB 71A. Okie dokes. Let's save that one. Image 2 of the pass. Oh, that's right. Another thing I usually put in the file name is the actual image from the series. Where do I put that? I guess, I don't even remember. I guess I have to figure that out later. Oh, I put it in the beginning maybe. Yeah, I put it up here. So, I would put like image 2. And then it would sort that. So that's image 2 of 12. Just kind of make that obvious, I guess. Alright. Let's get that last one. Alright, so this will be image 3. Let's look at all the images as they're coming together here. I'll copy over the one I think I can close this file. Got that open several places. Probably close downloads, camera. I can delete that file because I've already got it verified there. So those are the first two. You know, you can see the noise is coming in over here. That means this is image 1. I can copy those to the other directory, and I like to let the noise run out, just because it makes for a consistent image here. I could stop it, and then but this would change. It would look a little bit different. It doesn't look that different, but for me, I'm anal, so that's what I do. Let's see. All right, so let's see what this one is. This is 6. I'm going to listen to what I'm saying here after this finishes.
Alrighty, that was awesome. The ISS was visible. It wasn't extremely bright, but it was visible. It was about 0 degrees magnitude, I believe. And it wasn't visible the whole pass, but it was visible enough for me to track it by sight, which is always fun. It always helps to be able to see.
Okay. I lost track of what I was doing. Let me make sure I got that last one. Yeah, I did. Okay. I remember what I was doing now. Okay, this is 6 of 12. So when I get duplicates, what will happen is they'll show up side by side here, and then I can see what pass it came from and whether or not I had BPF on or off, and I can compare. Like, okay, that one from that pass is better with BPF off is better than BPF on, whatever. So that's what that's about. This one has that timestamp, so I'll have to fix that later, but this is 7 of 12. I'll have to redecode that one. This is 2 of 12. Looks like I might have a duplicate here. Yep. Let's see, which one's better? Ah, see, this is what I'm talking about. So this one's a little bit worse than this one. And this is from the second pass. And this is from the last pass. Another cool thing you can do is say you get like really solid, you get half of a decode of this, you get two, you receive same image twice, but the first time you received it, you got the first part of the image, and the second time you got the second part. You can edit them together and get one solid copy. But don't upload that to the SSTV archive, because then you're kind of not really showing the capability of the ISS transmitter in your receiving system. You're showing capability of your editing skills. Okay, this one's 2 of 12. Yep, so what's over here? We got 3 of 12. The last one, oh, well, I can just deduce it by, this is from the second pass, it's image 3, 23, 43. And this is image 3. So this is the second version, or this is the image that came before this one. So that means this is 4. That's another way you can deduce what image it is. So say for the rest of this event I never got a clean copy of image 4. Well, that's image 4. So I could say I got all the other ones perfectly or whatever, really good, relatively good. You can see this part at the very least, and then here I got this, but I know it's 4. So then you could say I received all of them, unless they're out of order, which sometimes does happen. Okay, so well, for now we'll assume that that's image 4. So I will add that to the front of the file name, image 4 of 12. Okay, so now we get to go through all of them. Let's just close. Close that. Alright, so that's image 1. I only received that one time, it looks like. So here you can see what I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7. And I got 2 and 3 twice. So that's the first image in this series. That's the second. It's another copy of the second. That's the third. Another copy of the third. See, this is why I love doing this organization, because then you can just go through them real quick and say which one's the best, go back and forth. And if these ones were close, you know, it would be more important to be able to go back and forth real fast, since this one's obviously much worse. That one's kind of worthless to me, but anyway, so that's image 3. That's theoretically image 4. And there's image 6. And that's image 7. That's it. So what I could do is, you know, this one's, that's a good one, so that's 1. 2. And 3. And 4, theoretically, if I'm right. Didn't get 6, or didn't get 5, but here is 6. And here is 7. So that's it. That's my haul. I think it's good. I got that in the first day. So I have 6 of the images, half of the images in one day. And I got 5 of them complete images in the first day, and there's only 12. So there's 2 more days of this event. I should be able to get all of them. Well, I should be able to get a lot more of them. Sometimes it's really annoying. You'll get the same images like 3 times in a row or something. Ugh. And then you never get that one image. I've had that happen before. I've listened to like every single pass that I had available to me, all hours, you know, 1 a.m., whatever. And I'll just never get one image. One time they accidentally sent the first image from a series earlier in the year in basically, so they had this event, say, in April, and the first image was from an event they had in like December or something like that. And so they never sent that image at all. That's not really something I can deal with. But occasionally, I just won't get one image, and even though I've received like, you know, multiple transmissions, like way over 12, like 30, 40 transmissions or something crazy like that, and I'll never get one. But that's how it goes. So I will make a little screenshot maybe and put it on Twitter just for the heck of it. Just put all these together. I wish I could maybe make it overlap a little less. So I'll do a little sniping tool, built-in feature of Windows. Hey, that's not too bad, right? That's not too bad. Save that to my downloads. RF to space is Kenneth, and he is the he actually works as a contractor for NASA. He is the ISS ham radio project coordinator, so he interfaces between NASA and ARIS to schedule the school contacts, among other things. He also organizes or helps the astronauts get their ham radio licenses in Houston, Texas. Alrighty. Uh-oh. Did I refresh too fast? There it is. Nice. It looks pretty cool. Let's go to Facebook and put it out there too. That was Dave. Dave runs the A4K, and that's him right there. He runs the public relations for ARIS, and here he's in Orlando, and here he is showing what he received. Got image 2, image 3. I didn't get that one yet. Oh yeah, I did. And there's his setup. A Kenwood THD72, which I have. I have that same radio right here, and I've got the same antenna as well. The Arrow 2 satellite antenna. Pretty good. I'll post my image. So what do you guys think? How much? What have y'all gotten? Yeah, mine are cleaner than his. It looks like he just held his phone up to his speaker. That's why they can look like that sometimes. There we go. Everybody loves to share their images, so I'm going to share mine. Really appreciate y'all watching with me. This was really fun. I'm going to go put them in the AMSAT NA Facebook group because everybody's got to do it. There should be a whole bunch of them here. See? One time, Fernando MP4JV, he posted the I don't know what it is. It's a meme. It's a picture of like this guy from a TV show, and he's like, "Brace yourselves." He put underneath the picture, "Brace yourselves. ISS SSTV images are coming," because basically the whole group just gets spammed. So he's right. You know, you got to brace yourself. So I will be one of them and share mine. Probably could find the same thing on Reddit. Yep. I think I'll hold off from Reddit just for the heck of it. Alrighty. Thanks, y'all. This was awesome. Could not be happier. This was really fun. If you have any other questions, come back once the live stream is posted to be archived and put them there, and I'll respond there. You can always email me, johnbreyer@gmail.com. If you like this, subscribe, share. If you really like it, consider signing up on Patreon to send me a small sum of money every time I release a new video, or sometimes I set it to monthly, but I've been going back and forth. Anyway, please subscribe and share. And if you become a patron, you can get your name in the end of videos. And you can also get stickers, and you can get t-shirts depending on the level you sign up at. So it's $1 gets your name in the video, $5 gets you stickers, I believe $10 or more gets you t-shirts. And if you get 5 or 10, you get the lower rewards as well. And I can actually thank all my patrons because I was actually just working on another project where I have them all listed out. It's hard to keep track of who's a current patron, so I will pull them up from the end credit that I was working on last night. There it is. Thanks, Billy Blue, KM6NJL, Corey Clark, N1COR, Jim Clark, KC3DFR, Sterling Coffee, N0SSC, and he's a new patron. Thanks, Sterling. He's also a YouTuber. Check out his channel, N0SSC. Scotty Cole, KM4GQT. Robert Goodman, K3RRR. Bob Harrell. Really appreciate you, Bob. Bob's pretty really supportive of me, not just on amateur radio or YouTube in general. He's a good guy on Facebook and Twitter with me. Stephen Ingalls, W1SEI, Dave Jordan, A4KN, he's the Eris PR guy. Peter Laws, the Eris PR guy that I mentioned earlier, that we saw his pictures on Facebook. Peter Laws, N5UWY, Jim Montgomery, KM4MUX. He actually, I helped him, he's a local guy, he's a friend of mine, and he got me an Elmer Award because I was kind of like helping him get his license. I don't know if you can see it, but it's on my wall over here. It's right in the top middle. That's that one. That's an Elmer Award that he got me. Anyway, back to the other patrons. Let me get this thing set up a little better. All right. patrons. Andrew Northam, KE8FCT. I talk to him on the radio on satellites all the time. He's up in Michigan, I believe. Max Sabo, K2MAX. I think he's in the Pacific Northwest. David Spence, K9NDU. Michelle Thompson, W5NYV. She's in charge basically of the was going to be a Phase 4 satellite. It's going to be a geostationary or something like that where it doesn't move much at all. And it was going to be a FEMA satellite, and they were going to give us a ride. And she's working on a digital system for that, the ground station, DVB-S, whole bunch of digital channels, lots of data, bandwidth. But that's not going to happen, I don't think. But they're going to, it's 5 gigahertz up, 10 gigahertz down, and they're going to put that on the Gulf satellites in the future. AMSAT has a whole new series of satellites. They're basically finishing up with the Fox series, and they're already starting on a Gulf series, and some of them are going to have the 5 and dime, 5 gigahertz up, 10 gigahertz down digital satellites. So even though we didn't get that geostationary one, we're going to make use of the 5 and dime technology they've been working on. So she's been a long-time supporter of me on space comms, so very appreciative of that. And then Ted Timmons, K7FLE, and 3 people that are anonymous and don't want their name included. So you can always be a patron and don't have to have your name in the videos. And of course, thanks guys for watching. Drift Lizard, Wesley Novak, Charles. Good luck getting some clean images. Trying to see who else talked up here. Patrick, Luke, Mr. Marmon, Don, Eric the Cat, Tech 2025, Jackson, New Holland, Bertrand, BDM, FG8OJ, and Paulo, Sindagai, CE3VNA, Andrew Murphy, Kenneth Helberg. And that's everybody that chatted. So thanks, y'all. Appreciate you. That's going to be it. So I hope that we can do this again. And in the future, I don't know if you can see, but I have a right there is an ICOM IC910H, and that is a Yaesu G5500 rotator. Eventually, I hope to build a ground station, automatic satellite tracking ground station on top of my roof. I'm in an apartment, but I have a cool landlord, and he said that he thought an antenna on the roof would be cool, which is crazy. He's into science, though, so I guess that's why he said that. But that was when I first moved in 5 years ago, so I need to ask him again. Anyway, the point is I hope to live stream some satellite passes from that station once I get it set up, just like what I'm doing here. So that will be really fun. This was a first go at trying that sort of thing out. With all that said, thank you. I am John Breyer, KG4AKV 73.